After hearing my presentation, you will have a better understanding of tipping your server while dining out at a restaurant. I will discuss the importance of tipping, how much a server or a waiter gets paid in the state of Texas, and how much you should tip. For some people, working in a restaurant as a server or a waiter is just a job for some side money. For others, this is your full-time job. I feel that this topic is important to share with you because in the restaurant industry, it's a major source of employment for college students. Maybe some of you have worked in the food service industry but may have not been a server. To know the feeling that you have received a good tip upon your good service is a different kind of feeling. And the worst kind of feeling is when knowing that you gave a customer the best service you could have given them and receive a tip that wasn't what you expected crushes you as a person. Not everyone realizes how important it is to a server for you to tip based upon their abilities, and even if you don't believe in tipping. How many of you enjoy going out to eat? And how often do we think about the people who serve us our food? For my own personal experience, I have been working in the food industry for over 16 years. First as a server, and now as a general manager of a restaurant. As a server, I have faced many ups and downs. Some nights I have walked out after work with a smile, and sometimes I have felt defeated. But I also have experienced the other side of the service industry when I eat out at a restaurant. I tip my server well because I know both sides. I want each of you to realize that tipping your server is a great thing. You're not only helping another person, but you're being a good, responsible, and respectful person when you do so. When you're a customer at whatever restaurant you're at and you get good service, the nice thing to do would be to give a tip to that server for their hard work. But when given a tip that is not a respectable range or just not giving a tip could cause many difficulties, situations as a server. There are two ways to formally tip someone at a restaurant: a credit card tip or a cash tip. It's best to leave tip in cash if possible because servers get to take home cash at the end of the night. Depending on the restaurant, some will add the credit card tips to their paychecks. At some restaurants, at the bottom of your receipt, when your server drops off your check, there will be a suggested tip area right below the amount of your total. It will show different percentages and how much to tip based off of what the amount of your total bill was. Minimum wage is the lowest wage per hour that a worker may be paid as mandated by the federal law. In a restaurant, it varies from job positions and how much you are paid per hour based off your job requirements. According to the Texas Workforce Commission, the federal minimum wage in Texas is $7.25 per hour. A waiter or service minimum wage in the state of Texas is $2.13 per hour, according to the Department of Labor of the United States. That means if you work 40 hours, you'll make $85.20. And if you get paid every 2 weeks, which some restaurants do, you'll make $170.40. That's $340 a month. Remember, that's before taxes and all the deductions you get taken away from on your paycheck. After taxes, on the paycheck itself is very small. A bartender's TikTok video recently went viral, has drawn more attention to the low wages service received in the service industry. She posted her paycheck totaling $9.28 for working over 70 hours in 2 weeks. Service spend depend on tips to make up for what they don't make on their paychecks. Could you live off of $300 a month That doesn't cover many responsibilities that involve money, such as a car note, rent, insurance, or even a cell phone bill. In addition to small wages, servers must give a percentage to their tips to bartenders, busboys, hosts, and back of house employees. This is also something to take in consideration. Calculating a tip is easier than it looks. Some people may not know how formally to do it, so that could possibly be a reason why they don't leave a tip for a waiter or waitress who gave them good service. According to the OdysseyOnline.com, you should tip 50% for okay to poor service. This is the average service tip. 20% for good service, 25% for great service, and 30% for exceptional service, or $2 per person at the table, whichever is higher. You may think that since times are rough with COVID-19, you're not inclined to tip. But at the end, you're hurting servers and waiters more than it's hurting you. 90% of Americans say they tip less than they did before COVID-19, according to a new Harris poll conducted exclusively for Fast Company. I think that being a server is a job that everyone should experience for themselves to really understand that person's point of view and the difficulties, the embarrassments, and the success of what it means to be a server. And until you know what it is like, please don't be so hard on someone who's just trying to make a living based on the tip that you give them. As a server, you are the face of the restaurant. So if something goes wrong with your customer's food, most of the time you will be the one getting yelled at. Just remember that a lot of the time, you're not always the server's fault. So be kind, be patient, and enjoy your next experience at your local restaurant. Thank you.